Project communications management. Project communications management includes all of the processes and tools and techniques that are needed to ensure that information is communicated throughout the organization and with particular attention paid to the stakeholders. Project communication is made up of a number of different processes, including identifying the stakeholders, managing stakeholder expectations, general project communications management, communications planning, report performance, and distributing information. The processes, in more detail, include identifying the stakeholders and the inputs for that. Other sources of information would be the project charter, other project documents, organizational factors like the culture and structure of the organization, organizational assets like the stakeholder register template, any information from lessons learned from prior or similar projects, and stakeholder registers from prior projects. The process is also for identifying stakeholders. There are certain tools and techniques that are used, one of which is the stakeholder analysis, which basically ranks the different stakeholders in terms of power and interest. And those that have high power and high interest, like the user community, you need to manage them very closely. Or on the other hand, the project team would have low power and high interest. They would be managed. They would be managed. They'd be kept informed as things move along. And of course, another tool would be expert judgment. And the sources for expert judgment include your executive management team, certified professionals within your organization, key stakeholders that may control resources or time or access to information, experienced project managers that may have worked on similar projects, subject matter experts, the people that actually know about the product and the processes that are being impacted by the project or being changed by the project, and then any trade associations, which is a great source for best practices. Also, in the process of identifying stakeholders, their outputs and what comes out of that once you input the information and you apply the tools and techniques. What do you produce? And you produce a stakeholder register, which is an important document that keeps track of how stakeholders impact the project, and also your overall stakeholder management strategy that ensures that you are using your stakeholders to the benefit of the project. Project communications planning is very important, and the inputs for communication planning would include the stakeholder register, the stakeholder management strategies, and the organizational environmental factors such as um, regulations and rules and policies, and then organizational process assets such as your information system or other means of communicating or passing information around throughout the organization, disseminating information throughout the organization. One of the tools and techniques used in planning is to try to determine the number of relationships and the types of relationships that exist. And essentially what this says is on a project team where you have um, people, in this case you would have six or seven entities that you're communicating with. Actually, it's six entities you're communicating with. You are in effect trying to manage 31 relationships. In the actual planning communication, the more tools and techniques would be basic technology, um, the urgency, the availability, extensibility, how can the technology be extended to address different methods of communication. The basic model, you would develop a model with, the basic model is that you want to ensure that the information that is sent out um, is adequately decoded by the receiver and re-encoded and sent back to the sender so that there's a bidirectional by synchronous communication. And then other methods that you would look for are the interactive exchanges. Sometimes you'll push information out to the community, and other times you'll pull information from the community. The output from the plan would be the actual, now you have a documented communication plan indicating who the stakeholder is, what the reporting requirements are for that person, how frequently those reports are provided, and what medium is used for that. And you would also use this to update the project schedule of the stakeholder register and the stakeholder management strategy. The process is distributing information, and the inputs for distributing information are the project management plan, which is basically a series of plans, including the risk, quality, communications plan, cost plan, procurement plan, the ongoing performance reports, so that you would keep a frequent communication in respect to what the project status is, organizational assets such as the policies and procedures, any templates that might be used, historical information, and of course lessons learned. Now, other tools and techniques for distributing information include what method of communication, whether you're through meetings, through video, audio, computer-generated information, and then some of the tools, hard copy documents. You might want to email, you might go through the web, through different web portals and using different web technology. You use fax machines, and then there's other collaborative management tools such as SharePoint. Outputs from the distribution of information include updating the organizational assets, stakeholder notifications, project reports, project presentations, project records, feedback for stakeholders, and lesson learned documents. Now, in managing the stakeholder expectations, the inputs would be the stakeholder register and the stakeholder management strategy, the project management plan, and then also the issue log, of which there is a sample here. And in addition, and also managing the stakeholder expectations, you may have a change order log as change orders occur. In most projects, you want to keep track of those change orders and make sure that you have information regarding the impact that those changes would have on the project, both financially and time-wise and based on and quality-wise. Additionally, in managing the stakeholder expectations, you'd have to look at different communication methods, including interpersonal skills, building trust, resolving conflict, active listening, overcoming resistance to change, and then, of course, their management skills like presenting and negotiating and writing and public speaking. Additionally, the managing stakeholder expectations, the outputs you would get from that would be updating the organizational process assets, change request forms that approve change requests, project management plan updates, and other updates to other project management documents. Reporting performance, the input you would need the project management plan, you would need the work performance information like deliverable status, schedule process, costs incurred, work performance measures, plan versus actual in respect to the schedule performance, also plan versus actual in respect to cost, and plan versus actual in respect to technical performance. You need budget forecasts, and you need organizational process assets. The tools and techniques for reporting are variance analysis, verifying the data, determining variance, determining the impact of the variance, forecasting methods, time series method, causal econometric methods, judgmental methods, communication methods, reporting systems. And then process the report. The outputs you would get from the report performance processes would include performance reports, organizational process asset updates, and perhaps more change requests.